He's asking about the Italian beef sandwich here in Chicago, and he says, "Why have the sandwich dipped and not on the side? I've never had one. Does it make the bread soggy? I wouldn't like that." The roll that an Italian beef comes on is typically a pretty sturdy roll, so it can absorb quite a bit. It does make the bread somewhat soggy, not gonna lie, but that's part of the sandwich. That's part of the appeal of the sandwich. If you put it on the side, it's more along the lines of a French dip, and that's not what this sandwich is. Some people get it dipped where it's just the ends. That like you'll take the beef sandwich and you'll dip the ends, just so that it's a little juicy. Some will just dip the bottom, and then some will do what they call baptizing it, which is dip the whole thing in. An Italian beef sandwich, and just so that if I could back up and give a little bit of background here, I will eat some of the driest food that you can possibly imagine. And the Italian beef sandwich is one of the few things that I look at and go, it has to be wet. It has to be. It's got to be dunked. It preferably baptized. The whole thing needs to be wet. You need to have to wrap that thing up into a few different layers of paper. And when we open it, it's going to you're going to get juices all over the place. The kind of sandwich where the juices run down your arms while you're eating it. You know what I mean? I can't describe the importance of the dipping of the Italian beef sandwich. I would just say that if you're gonna try one, if you go to a Portillo's near you or if you come to Chicago, try it dipped.
Okay, here's the thing. The meat is not moist. So the bread does have to be.
Okay, so when people hear that, hang on. When people hear her say the meat is not moist, they're going to go, "What the fuck? The meat is literally sitting in a pool of its own juices before it gets put onto the sandwich." Doesn't matter. The meat is sliced paper thin.
You can read a newspaper.
And so it's not this chunk of meat that you squeeze it and juices flow out of it. It is paper thin slices of roast beef that don't retain that moisture. So yeah, her saying that that's where the moisture comes from. She's correct.
And then bread, it's a tough bread.
Yeah, it's a sturdy bread.
Yeah.
Take a punch.
Yeah, so when you dip it, typically, if the bread is super fresh, it will definitely not fall apart, even though it looks like. You know what we should do? Let's go get beef sandwiches and we can discuss.
You want to go get a beef sandwich? Okay. We're going to get beef sandwiches. Pause. We're not going to get beef sandwiches at 10 o'clock in the morning. We'll get beef sandwiches here in the next couple days, and we'll do a video on an Italian beef sandwich. Okay? All right.
Okay.